I don't think like that, she says to me. I can't help but feel.
Hi, welcome back. In this video, I'm gonna show you how I made this bag, but I'm also gonna show you how with the same, very similar principle, I made this bag. And it should be very easy and very beginner friendly. If you have a big yarn, you're gonna be done in a couple hours and ready to go with your holy bag. Yeah, this is a long one, and let's get right into it. Alrighty, so I got this lovely cotton jersey yarn. I'm not sure what thickness, but I used like a 6.1 crochet hook. And I started with a pretty loose chain. I chained 26 for the size of my bag, but you can chain however much you want.
If I made just one mistake, it's not speaking with my chest.
And then I also chained 3 more for the turnaround, and then I started with 1 double crochet in the 5th chain from the hook.
Often leave me dazed and wondering. So do you mind if we rewind, 'cause my mind's on other things.
And then you want to chain 1 and double crochet in the second next stitch, so skip 1, and then you chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, so that you will get this gap pattern, like so. And now for this side, you're gonna chain 1 and go into the same hole and make a double crochet into that same hole. We're not gonna turn the work, we're gonna go around to make kind of like a bottom. And so that the crochet pattern, the pattern of the stitch, will always be on the outside of the bag. And so it will look very uniform. And then you're gonna chain 1 again and do another one in the same stitch or the stitch next to it. I don't think it matters. And then you're gonna chain 1 again and start going into the bottom of each double crochet along the row you just made. Simply choose a spot on the bottom of the double crochet and keep going.
I don't think like that, she says to me. I can't help but feel the subtleties. So if it all expires, I guess the date's not what it seems. But I can't help it, boy, she says to me. I'm not sure I truly gave my best. Made a home but still feel like a guest.
Now at the end of this row, you're gonna chain 1 obviously, and then skip 1 again and go into the next chain. You have this little like curve of chains, and simply go in every second one, and you will have a nice curve around, which is basically the same you've been doing for the first set of double crochets you did.
Tension, headaches always get to me. Often leave me dazed and wondering. So do you mind if we rewind, 'cause my mind's on other things. But I'm not sure you'd find them interesting. And maybe I should practice how I feel.
And now you can kind of see it forming already, like so. We're gonna turn it like that way, so the outside of the bag is gonna be the front of the double crochet. You could obviously increase on each side if you wanted the bottom to be bigger, but I didn't care for that, and this is the easiest way to do it, I think. And you're just gonna go around, and I'll see you at the other end.
Maybe this whole quarantine's to blame. And I don't know if you still love me, but I still feel the same. For what it's worth, that's how I feel today.
Alright, so at this end, it's rather obvious. You can always just go into the top of each double crochet, and you should be good. Sometimes I have to like refocus and see if I'm in the right place, but usually I'll find my way. And this is what it's gonna look like for the rest of the bag. Do as many rounds as you like. Maybe you want the bag to be shorter or longer than mine.
This is what I preach. But telling you the truth is hard for me. So Jesus, could you help me?
And now I'm kind of counting how many stitches apart I want the handle or the handles to be. So I'm just kind of pointing with my fingers to see and aligning the holes. And then you're just gonna keep going with the same pattern, chain one, double crochet one, chain one again, until you reach that one chain where you want the handle to start.
I wouldn't waste a minute if I had you all to myself.
Which for me was right there, I think. So I originally chained 24 for this handle, but I ended up going with 16, I think, or something, because it was kind of a stretchy yarn, so it would stretch a little too long at the end. We're gonna single crochet around it. Then attach it on the other side, mirrored with another double crochet. And then you're gonna go around the bag to the other side in the same manner as we've been doing all the time.
Thinking about us. Yeah. You wanted honesty but couldn't find someone you could trust.
And I just kind of laid it flat to figure out which one I'm gonna have to stop on, which is gonna be right there. And I'm just gonna do the same thing, work my way over there, and then chain the same amount, like 16 I did on the other side.
This moment feels so pure. So I gotta know if you got it bad like I got it bad for you. If you got it bad like I got it bad for you. If you got it bad like I got it bad for you.
And then I kept going with the double crochets until I reached the edge, which was kind of like my starting point. And then I made a half double crochet to kind of blend in the double crochet into a single crochet, and then I continued with single crochets until I reached my chain. I just went into the space and then into the top of the double crochet and then again into the space. And when I reached it, I just went around the chain and chained like 22, I think, just so it will look full but not too full. And this is gonna give you a pretty stable handle, and it's also gonna look kind of cute. And I secured it with a single crochet, and I kept going around with single crochets until I reached the other side of my bag. And I obviously also single crocheted around the handle the same amount of stitches I did on the other side.
I don't think like that, she says to me. I can't help but feel the subtleties. So if it all expires, I guess the date's not what it seems. But I can't help it, boy, she says to me. I'm not sure I truly gave my best. Made a home but still feel like a guest.
And when I reached the end, I ended it off with a slip stitch. I cut off the loose end and pulled it through. And then I also sewed in the ends very carefully, because this yarn you can't really poke through with your needle. You have to make sure you go around it.
So do you mind if we rewind? 'Cause my mind's on other things, but I'm not sure you'd find them interesting. And maybe I should practice how I feel, instead of trying to reinvent the wheel. I know I overcomplicate, but simplicity's surreal. It doesn't seem to me too big a deal. I'm sorry if this all feels like a game. Maybe this whole quarantine's to blame. And I don't know if you still love me, but I still feel the same. For what it's worth, that's how I feel today.
And if you've woven in all your ends, you're good to go.
Will I sink as soon as I jump in?
On to the second bag. This is basically the same principle. I simply used a thinner yarn with a smaller hook, and I started out by doing the first row in single crochets, so the bottom would look a little bit different, but in the end I did the same principle: chain 1, double crochet 1. And then I also ended the top row with a full row of single crochet. And here I'm doing the handle a little bit differently, because I want it to be just one long one. And I start by chaining the amount. Honestly, I didn't count. I just kind of eyeballed it to see how long I would want it. And yep, that's how long I liked it. And I connected it to the other side of the bag with a slip stitch. And then I also made a single crochet into the next open stitch, so it would be secured very well. And then I started a row of single crochet into the back side of the chain. This is sometimes a little bit fiddly, but it's gonna look much better, and it's gonna be worth it. I mean, obviously you can grab a smaller hook or something to get in easier, but it's gonna be okay. Just don't make your chain too tight. I'm just making this too complicated, but it's so hard to turn it off lately. Some things I don't need to see, gotta erase it from my mind, 'cause every time I find myself crawling back to. And when I reached the other end, I made another single crochet to fix it onto the other end of the bag. And then I flipped it, and I did another row of single crochets into my last row. And this is what it looked like. And you can see both sides have this little top of the crochet stitch look, because I went into the back side of my initial chain. And then I just weaved in the ends, making sure to make it nice and invisible. And yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna try to get some more shots. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. Bye!
sold me. I'm just too consumed with my phone.